Hi, Yuri. Glad to have you here in Freelancing Heroes by Qwego. And let's start. I think you built a fascinating ecosystem around freelancers, creators, and the community you built is extremely inspiring. Let's get to the beginning phase. What drew you into the freelancing world? And then I'm personally curious to know at what point in your life that was. So, yeah.
Hmm. First of all, Ankit, thank you for having me. Thank you for inviting me to the conversation. And it's interesting. It's you have this like freelancing heroes, and I know so many heroes in the freelancing world. So I feel like every freelancer is a hero, some kind of, because they take this responsibility. They are not afraid. They are being brave, and they are creating their own personal journey, which is very hard, I can tell you, because you are not just being, for example, you're a designer or developer or community builder, you name it. It's not just you being this expert, but you have to be a marketer, you have to be a sales expert, you have to do networking, you have to do PR, you have to deal with taxes. So basically you are running the freelance business. So you
Yeah.
are like one person business, and it's not that easy. It's not for everyone, of course. And talking about my journey, I was building communities before even I knew that it's called building communities. So I've done all the mistakes that's possible, and I've like kind of like tried all the things in the community world. And then after like 5 7 years of trying this, I had the war started in Ukraine, and then I started working as a
Oh, yeah.
freelancer, because before that I was more like an entrepreneur, solopreneur. So I was hosting events, I was creating like learning courses and all the things. And then I was like, huh, I have experience. People understand that there is like valuable. Why should I not work with clients? And then I kind of like started more giving services of like community building or connecting with people or reaching out, like building partnerships, because I've got those skills while doing like it on my own. And then I decided to go more into a freelance journey, because like it's so much, it gives you access to so much more interesting opportunities and more interesting people, that I'm like, why should I keep this knowledge to myself? I will share them with clients and they will also benefit. So 3 years
Amazing. Yeah.
ago, I started this freelancing journey, and for now, nah, I just love it.
Yeah, definitely. Great. I think a lot to unpack here. First, I'd like to know what was your first gig? This is something I usually ask every freelancer. Every freelancer has that first gig experience. What was yours?
Yeah, it was interesting story, because I basically, when the war started overnight, I lost any sources of income, and I didn't
Okay.
know what to do. And I reached out back then to David Spinks. It's a founder of CMX Communities, community for community experts. And I messaged him, hey, David, we have a war going on, and I lost any sources of income. Like, can you please help me spread the word that I'm kind of searching for some consultancy gig or for something that I can like support me and my family? And it was pretty fast, because he made posts in the community, he made posts on Facebook. And the first person that I've started working with was Steve Gargiulo from Cultivators community. And he just commented under the post like, yeah, I'm ready to do that, like just message me. So I messaged Steve, we caught up on a call. Like, I didn't have like CV, I just had my presentation where I listed all the things, all the events, all the communities that I was managing, that I was creating. And he trusted me, and we started working together. So basically, like, working with cultivators was my first gig ever. And it was pretty nice experience. I met so many amazing humans from the cultivators team itself, and also from their community. And it was a very, very great starting point, I would say.
That's great. And I think your primary offering would be then community building, growth, support. Is that correct?
I would say creating community strategy. Because when you are building community for a person, for a company, for a brand, it takes a lot of time. So there is a lot of conversations that you are having with people, because you can't do it. You are building it for people, with people. And I once tracked my time for like the year of like creating a community. And 70% of all the time that I spent on working with a community was just talking to people. So can you imagine? You still have a lot of admin, you still have a lot of background work. And for example, it's just not scalable. If I were to build all the communities myself, I don't know how many me's I need. So I'm currently working more as like a community architect, community consultant. So I come to a company, I come to their business, I ask what are their business goals, and then by having this conversation, I understand what they need. And afterwards, we're creating a strategy together because it's like two-way street process. It's not me telling them what to do. It's kind of like we are creating it together. I'm just using my experience and my knowledge. And then I kind of guide them on how to make it. And they make it themselves. I mean, they are doing it with their internal team. And I'm kind of like coach and mentoring their internal team on how to do it better.
Got it. Interesting. And is there any offline experience? I know community has always been an online thing for you as an offering, but I can see that you might have started this community experience through something offline.
For me, it was always hybrid. So it's not like it's just online or it's just offline. Because when I started building my communities for experts, it was for SEO experts, for marketers, for sales experts. We had this setting. So we had in-person meetups once per 2, 3 months. And then we had online space where we were communicating in between of those meetings. For every community possible, I would ever tell that online is good, like it's better than nothing. Still, if you can do in person, do in person because nothing replaces in person one-to-one human connections. It's totally different. Once again, like I always say that if you can go in person, go in person. If you can't go in person, go online, go on a Zoom call, go on a like Google call, whatever you name it. If you can do this, chat. If you can chat, you are doomed. So if you cannot access anyhow the person, like the first thing is chatting. It's like the easiest way. Second thing is better. It's like online call, and the
Yeah,
best case scenario is real life connection.
I agree with you. And I can imagine it must have been amazing for you to connect with so many people out there. And then I'm personally curious to know that you might have connected with so many freelancers out there. How was it? What was your experience connected with so many freelancers, different stories, different domains, and what connected you to them? So, yeah,
I would say it's curiosity because every person who I've met from freelance world, they are very, very curious and they always want to grow. They are not staying in one place. They're always discovering, they're always learning new technologies. They want to connect with other people because they understand that in freelancing, you cannot do everything by yourself. You need partners. And by partners, I'm not saying that you need someone to work with, but I mean that you need someone to talk to from time to time. You need someone who can refer you clients and vice versa. You can refer clients to them. You need someone, okay, you can grab beer with, because it's very, very lonely job. You are sitting usually, once again, usually you are sitting in your home, most likely, or in the co-working space, whatever, but you are on your own. You are not a part of a company. Even if they hire you, most likely you are still kind of an outcast. So every freelancer needs their kind of community, their kind of network. And I can tell you that the best freelancers that I know, I can't say that they are extroverts. Still, when they are connecting, when they are in the space with other freelancers, they act like extroverts, even though they are mostly introverts. So I would
yeah,
say, yes, it's like they want to learn, they are learning, they are very, very interesting people to talk to learn from, and also they just love to connect and they love to and also they love what they're doing, so they love their
yeah,
job and they are happy to deliver it to different clients and to do their best, because once again, as a freelancer, you need to deliver your best because it's how you get other projects. If you deliver to
yeah.
best and company likes what you are doing, they will hire you again. Maybe if they will not, maybe it was like just one project, but they will refer you to someone else. So that's how you build your brand and that's how you get other offers.
You mentioned about delivering your best, and that involves focusing on so many different aspects, right? It's not that, hey, if you're a developer, develop things. No, you have to communicate better with the client. You have to make sure they're understanding the core requirements, delivering at per their expectations, making sure they're focusing on all aspects of it. So I'd like to know your perspective on it, that if someone is new to the freelancing industry, they're planning to enter it, what all sorts of things they should keep in mind?
I'm currently hosting the podcast called The Independent Workforce, where I talk to hiring side of freelancing. And I'm asking like, what do you expect from freelancer? What is like one non-negotiable skill that every freelancer has to have? And of course, we are not even talking about hard skills because you have to be professional. And still, the main skill that every company needs from a freelancer, it's communication skills. You don't really have to be the best of the best in what you are doing. You don't have to be the best developer, the best marketer, the best community builder. You still need to have like very, very awesome communicational skills. You have to, first of all, not every client has very clear job description, project description. I heard a lot of stories when you have just one description, then you start working and you understand that you have to do totally different task. So as a freelancer, you have to talk to people, you have to ask them, you have to ensure that you are moving in the right direction and that both sides understand each other correctly. Then, when you are doing a project, you can't do it in a silo. For example, you have 3 months project. It's not like you start working and then 3 months later you're coming up, here's a project. You need to keep your client updated. Like every week, send them small update on like where are you moving. You have to keep them posted because they don't know how to control you. That's a huge mindset blocker in people who are not hiring freelancers yet because they don't know how to control you. They don't own you. You are not sitting in their office from 9 to 5. It's very scary for them. So you have to be there for the client. You have to communicate. You have to ensure that they understand that you are moving in the right direction. And also you have to get feedback from them that yes, you are moving in the right direction. So you have to always be in line. So if you ask me about like just one skill, aside from your hard skills, it would be communication.
Definitely, I agree. I think communication has to be the topmost skill the freelancer should focus on before getting on a project, and then constant feedback loop, like you mentioned. I think it's really important. Uh, I've seen personally through my experience that people tend to, freelancers in specific, they tend to uh, take an assumption during a project and then they move forward with it, and then the project has sidelined entirely, up to not up to the client's expectations, and then they argue about scope creep and all those aspects, and then yeah, that's
Nah,
again
it's
seen.
lack of communication, of course. Like, when you are clear, when you totally have like kind of like virtual signature on what you are doing, you are okay. If you are delivering clearly, if you are ensure that you are on the same page, it's not a problem. But yes, of course, if you think that it's the best way and you never talk to your client, nah, it won't be the
Yeah,
best way.
yeah. And then I've also seen that people tend to finish their task and then directly share it with the client. I think they miss the critical review phase where they should look at their work from a client's perspective and then see, hey, did what the client has asked, and is it up to the mark or not before sharing the files. So that is also something which is pretty critical. And coming to the point of scope in general, I think at Qwego, what we're trying to do here to improve the scope issue, uh, we've come up with a process where we first get a draft from the client. We personally help them defining their scope. Let's say if someone is not familiar with the development space altogether, they might not know what the exact deliverables are, right? And it might land up into communication faults or gaps, right? So what we do here is we provide them AI assistance and we help them defining and refining their scope before they even post out their project and accept bidding. So that's an attempt at trying to ease out things. But yeah, I think both parties should be aligned. Communication is on top, as you mentioned.
That's exactly what staffing companies and recruiting companies and talent companies doing. Not every client is an expert. Not every client is a product manager, you name it. Sometimes they like, oh, we need to develop this application. Who should we hire? We don't know. And then they go to ChatGPT and like, hey, ChatGPT, give me like the best description, like with all the skills. And then you have the list of like 25 skills that freelancer has to have. And then they come to an expert who knows how it works. An expert told you like, you don't need 25 skills. You need these 3 skills And that's it. That's what you need for the project. And then those experts, those people, they are removing this hard part from the project. They would like remove all the noise. And then you have like this clear description. Because that's exactly what the problem with the project script. It's you don't always are you are not always hired for what they have in their mind. And they understand it. But how can you understand it if you see like this ChatGPT generated project description? Nah, it's very, very hard.
But I think right now, given the market trends with automation in place and everything, I'd like to ask why freelancing today? And is it important right now to focus on freelancing or rather get a full-time job? Stability and all those factors included.
You know, it's so fun that you named the word stability because I'm not sure that it's stability nowadays. When I see all the layoffs that happening like through all the world, like all these companies, they like lay off hundreds of people, thousands of people, and I'm like, is it stability? Are you sure that you are safe? And what I see from full-time perspective is that when you are working full-time, you are being one niche, one small task expert. And some experts, they are even such niche experts that their skills are needed only for one company. And for example, if they are on the market, they don't know what to do. So they lose all the connection with the market. So yes, of course, if you're proactive, if you are talking to other people, if you are seeing what's going on in the world, if you are constantly developing, it's okay. Yeah, you go full time, you have your monthly paycheck, you are totally okay. But then you also understand that every time that something changes, you can easily find another job. But it's easy to fall into this comfort zone where you are just being where you are and not developing, and you are staying in one place. And then suddenly you're laid off. What do you do next? Uncertainty. You don't know what to do because you have no idea about the market. You have no idea how skilled are you don't know anything. And when you're a freelancer, you have this constant market check. You have it like every day, every week, every month. You totally know what skills are needed for your clients. And if at some point you don't have clients, you clearly understand that skills are changing and you clearly know what you need to learn. So basically you are always like moving and growing with the market. And I would say it's kind of stability, this like unstable stability. Because you are still living in uncertainty, you don't know if you will have clients or not. Still, you know that you are moving in the right direction. You are developing those skills that are needed on the market exactly right now. So, yes, it's harder. It's much harder. But as one person told me, they got used to uncertainty. So at some point, you know that everything will be all right no matter what, because you're an expert, you're delivered that many projects, you know how to deliver the things. If something new is coming up, you can easily learn new technology, you'll be okay. So it's so much better when you are flexible than you just stand in one place and are not moving anywhere.
Makes sense. Yeah. Someone is planning to enter the freelancing market, and then, like you mentioned, they are only in ties with the company they're employed to, but they don't have that market connection. And how should one go about building that connection? Although I know your answer to this, but I would like you to share the thoughts
Look,
to our viewers.
the easiest way is to go to talk to other freelancers, go
Yeah,
to find people who are in the same niche but who are freelancers, go connect with them. And like from my experience, freelancers are happy to talk to others. So if you connect with someone even on LinkedIn, and or you can go find some freelancer communities. There are a lot of them in the world, like almost in every part of the world there are some kind of freelancing communities or entrepreneurs community. You can find them if you search them. So talk to people, ask them how it works, go to some meetups, attend some networking events, start making friends. And we've even created a course, like it's freelance fundamental course. Like we sold it some time before, but then we don't have time for that. And we decided to make it open. So it's currently open if,
it's
for
open
example,
on
someone,
YouTube if I'm not wrong.
yeah, it's on YouTube.
Yeah.
I have a link on my LinkedIn. So if anyone is watching, you
There are
want to catch
multiple
up.
playlists. So for the viewers, there is a very in-depth course. I noticed there are 14 or 15 chapters, each of which include a very rich content. So if you're planning to start your freelancing career, definitely go ahead and check out Yuri's content. And
And once
yeah,
again, it's very open. And the first thing that you have to do is to go build your network. Even if you are just planning to start freelancing, you are currently full-time and you plan to start freelancing, you need to start building network because without network, you will suck. You will have a lot
yeah,
of problems without network. So if you
yeah.
are even thinking about starting freelancers, go build network. It's like the number one thing to do.
I'd like to listen to you, given your experience communicating with so many freelancers out there. What was the world before AI, and then now? Why, if someone is entering the freelance world, why is it so much easier to enter, given AI is at their end?
Look, freelancers are always faster than full-time employment because they are not dealing with bureaucracy. With AI, you are like getting 5 times faster. And once again, even if you are just using the very, very simple LLM, Claude, ChatGPT, you name it. So you already have like your second brain, your kind of like virtual assistant you can talk to, you can exchange thoughts. But once again, never rely on just first answers that you receive from it. Like be very curious, be very skeptical about what you hear and what you see. And like, so you are working not just as a freelancer, but kind of a manager. So imagine AI tools as junior experts, and you as a freelancer can have like the whole department of these junior experts, and you are being their manager. So basically, you are just not just one team person, you like dozens team person. You are already managing like 10, not people, but like junior AI experts. So once again, the sky is the limit. Tools are growing. I am subscribed to Indie Hackers newsletter, and it's like every week or per in 2 weeks, they are sending a list of like new tools that you can try in the AI world. So uh, it's like once again,
Yeah,
sky is the limit, and
yeah. I
the
think
more you use them, the faster you are getting.
I agree. I agree. Quickly, can you shoot in 5 AI tools that you find useful right now?
Uh, I can tell you that I use, of course, ChatGPT. It's like the number one tool. It's like
Yeah,
easy to chat, easy to go to have some summaries and stuff. Then I use Descript, so it helps me to create my podcasts and like to do all small clips and stuff. Um, Third one, it's like Manus. I played with it and I created a website for me, even though I'm not a developer myself, but it was by accident and still I have a website now. Um,
that's great. Yeah,
and okay, so there is one more tool that I'm using always to it's like remove background IO or something like that, AI, whatever.
yeah,
So just when I put the picture inside, it removes background, so it helps me to create pictures for podcasts like very fast. So I don't
yeah,
need to use Photoshop or like any other tool. It's like just 1 second.
yeah,
So I would go with these four tools, and I would say that daily is ChatGPT, and then it's Descript and this removal of background, and then from time to time Manus, because Manus is for more complex projects. So it's not like you can ask any question to ChatGPT and give like receive an answer. So if you are going to Manus, it's more like if you want to create like some knowledge base, or if you want to create a website, some project that really like it's like bigger one. And I can tell you like, okay, if we are talking about five tools, I will call number five. It's
yeah.
N8N.
Okay.
I didn't try it,
It's
but I
powerful.
have it in
Yeah,
my mind. I want to start playing with AI agents. I just
yeah,
didn't have tasks to give it to them. But
got it.
it's always on my mind. So I'm here close to start doing this.
Yeah. Have you tried make.com by any chance?
It's very similar as
Yeah,
N8N, I would
yes,
say.
yes. So if someone is trying to get into N18, I think they should first try out make.com, and then that ways they can pretty much feel familiar with N18. But yeah, it's very
I
powerful.
would say it's more visualized. So it's like if you are
Yeah,
not
it's
familiar with
more user
developing,
friendly, and yeah,
yeah, yeah.
I agree. And speaking of how this has reduced a lot of barrier, you mentioned you don't need to Photoshop. So I'm seeing that most of the skills, let's say for a designer, I think photoshopping skills as a service, I think it has become more accessible for free for the end users. Now, looking at freelancing or service providing in general in the next 10 years, what skills do you think would be high value providing skills that one should look out for? if they're learning or if they're planning to offer their services?
Once again, first of all, it's communication. Then I would say it's human skills. You need to be able to connect with other people and build these networks, build relationships. Once again, I will not talk about hard skills. One thing about hard skills that think about if this skill is repetitive and if it can be automized. If it can be automized, then it's not the best skills to have. At some point, there will be a tool that will replace it. And as you've said about designers, yeah, if I need to remove background, I don't need a person to do that. Still, maybe if I need to create some LinkedIn post graphics, once again, I don't need a designer because it's very simple. But when I need to spark emotion, I need people who understand how to spark emotion. I need to have experts who know not just like tools, but who knows human psychology, who knows how it works, who can understand, who can kind of like go into my brain and understand what I want from them. So that's exactly who are experts. So they are like always one step forward than you are. So you have to be this kind of expert, you have to act like a doctor. You have to ask many, many questions to understand what exactly is the problem with a person and how you can solve it. And once again, as a doctor, you're not given any medication. And even for different patients, you can give different medications because they have different individualities. So basically, I would call AI is like giving Nurofen to everyone, like giving, like treating all the illness with just one medicine. And if you want to be an expert, you need to understand exactly what is the problem and how to treat it. So you need to be like real human and real,
Yeah,
yeah, real
yeah,
senior
amazing,
experts
amazing.
people
Yeah.
can talk to.
Yeah. So another question to you would be, as a professional yourself, I think, how do you stay organized while
Hmm.
working? And then I think most of the things being virtual, how do you stay on top of your calendar, make sure you're presenting yourself to the mark? So yeah.
Look, for me, it's atomic steps. So there is this book called Atomic Habits, and the idea is that you do small steps continuously. So I have per day like dozen of small tasks, like message 10 people, or connect with 10 people, or answer 10 people, or do this one thing, do this one thing. So for me, it's all about building processes, building step by step calendars, and to ensure that I see what I need to do this week. So I try to do it every Friday, like from the previous week. Sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes I do it on Monday, but every Friday or Monday, I plan what my week will look like. So basically, I have the view of what I have to accomplish this week. And it doesn't mean that it's like set in stone. It can change. Some tasks, I will add some tasks. I will remove some tasks during the week. But overall, I have like 90% plan of what I do. And for repetitive tasks, I have clear step-by-step processes. So when I do them, I don't have to think. So yeah, my almost every my day is consisted of a lot of small steps.
Uh, Absolutely. And I think the important aspect you touched around here was visibility of your tasks, what all you need to do, making sure calendar is visible, you don't miss out on anything. And uh, at Qwego also, we're trying to make sure that we make everything visible. And there's an attempt where we have tried to make sure for every project, the freelancer has a dedicated progress tracking system. They can track their progress, share their deliverables in a dedicated manner that helps the client have a visibility of where they're in the project. Is it 50%? Is it 10%? Hey, what are the deliverables we've received so far? All those visibilities
Yeah.
are there. Time tracking, Kanban boards. I think these are some rare things which are may look minor, but helps miles ahead in terms of keeping the progress on track. And yeah, hoping we're doing things in the right direction.
Yeah, exactly.
Lastly, I think I'd like to get your advice or tips for the viewers if they're starting out their freelancing journey. What would be your final thoughts on that?
First of all, it's all about making it simple. if you are not building your brand in very, very soon amount of time, you will be out of market. Because once again, as there are more and more tools, more and more technologies are coming. So if people don't know you now, they won't know you later unless you do something super
Yeah,
famous. So the
yeah.
best time to start building your brand was yesterday. So the next best time to do it is today. So go connect with
Mhm.
people and start building your personal brand.
Great. I think this was super fun. And you're a true freelancing hero, building so many communities out there, having so much experience in the freelancing ecosystem. So I thank you on behalf of the freelancing community altogether. And then keep providing value. And to the viewers, I would urge you to follow Yuri. We'll tag his socials out there. Follow him, follow his work, take inspirations, and then do check out his freelancing fundamentals course if you're starting out. And yeah, I think this was a great conversation. Let's end it here. Thanks for joining and doing this fun conversation.
Yeah, and kids, thank you for inviting us. Thank you for asking good questions.